G'day, I'm Alister Christie, and actually not the sentence, better. Anyway, this is a blog post on random Delphi type stuff. So Delphi XE2 update 4 is probably due out anytime now, so looking forward to that. It'll probably be more fixes to FireMonkey and possibly DataSnap, I guess. Anyway, XE3 is probably, I think, if they're sticking to the same schedule, it'll probably out September-ish. I'm not on the beta program. I probably should get onto that at some stage. But then, of course, I won't be able to speculate because I'd have a copy and that'd be wrong. Go against the be an NDA or something. Anyway, yeah, XE3. I think it will be a big improvement. I think the iOS support in XE2 is pretty horrible, but the fact that it's there is really cool. I'm hoping it'll be a lot better in XE3, and I'm actually recording this on my iPad, the front-facing camera, just basically to play around. I've used my Galaxy S2 quite a bit for recording, and the image quality in that is just fantastic. It's quite amazing for a phone. Recording. I record at 720p. It's capable of doing 1080p, but you know, I'm not going to be uploading 1080p videos to YouTube for a while yet. I think the bandwidth-wise, it's a little bit excessive. One of the hassles of recording the iPad, I've got to focus on looking at the camera. So if I look at the screen, which is looking at my face now, I'm definitely not. Anyway, it's a digression. Other things I want to talk about. So XE3, what is it going to have in it? I'm hoping Android, possibly Linux, and of course better iOS and improved FireMonkey, more FireMonkey controls. When you compare how big the VCL is compared to how big FireMonkey is, FireMonkey's tiny. As you hopefully are aware, I am making videos on using the visual component library in Delphi. I've so far completed my first one, and you should buy it. Use my video. I should be using my mental superpowers for private gain. That should be anyway. Buy my video. It's the part one. Is kind of more introductory stuff and cover very little. Part two, I've so far recorded 2 hours. Part one is 6 hours long. It's quite comprehensive. Yeah, so I'm currently working on part two. My next component that I'm going to build or record some video for is T-grid panel, which I have been playing around with. It's quite interesting. I haven't actually used T-grid panel very much, actually not at all, neither with T-flow panel, which I have finished recording the other day. And in my first video I go into a lot of detail on margins and alignment and anchors and all those sorts of things, and how you can use those. And I sort of say that I can't think of a non-programmatic way of dividing a form into thirds. So you have like 3 panels, 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. But you can do that with a grid panel. So that's quite cool. So I learned something new. And when you resize it, that stays in the thirds. So there's actually I have to go back. I don't have to, but I'll probably go back and there's some bits where I have things divided into thirds, and occasionally it gets a little bit broken. What used to, I'll probably resolve that now, in that when it gets too small and then resizing, things can get in the wrong order, because they're all aligned top. But anyhow, so I'm digressing. So part two, I'm 1/3. I intended to make it 6 hours long, like the previous one. 1/3 of the way through it. It will be cover a lot more components than the first one. I think I did 20 components in my first video. I'm probably at about that now. So I expect maybe 40, 60 components will be covered in it, and in quite a lot of detail. I did, for instance, I did mask edit the other day, and I thought, oh, I've got all these Delphi books. I'll look up and learn all the esoteric properties of mask edit, which there are a few. So I'll include them in the video, because I actually don't. I've tried using mask edit in the past, but I found it awkward. But now that I'm probably more familiar with it, I might make use of it. Square. So this is using Delphi 3, and it mentions mask edit, and that section there is the grand total of mask edit, and that's back when Delphi was much smaller than it is now. The Marco Cantu, who's probably the definitive, so there's Mastering Delphi 7. It's excellent book. You should probably get it secondhand. If you're learning Delphi, buy my videos first, because that in terms of VCL, going to be far more comprehensive. It's got a little bit on this page. We actually have a picture in this one. But yeah, I read it on mask edit. I don't know, 15, 20 minutes or something stupid like that. Covering stuff in far greater detail than any books ever have, which is really awesome. I really wish that I had these resources when I was getting started with Delphi. It's so much easier to learn stuff now than it used to be. Back when I was getting started, there was basically nothing on the internet to speak of. A few people with some really poorly formatted HTML, using colours like cyan and magenta in there. And I used to print out stuff, and I have 3 large binders, well, not large, but 3 binders at work, which I have stuff I printed out. I haven't referred to them in years, of stuff on the internet that there's so little available that it was possible to print it out. And now it's just this huge amount, people blogging and stuff, and the free resources like my videos, and people doing quite detailed posts and stuff. There's of course the Delphi magazine, Blaise Pascal magazine, which I subscribe to it. I haven't read many of them, I have to confess. I tend to focus more on the books. Currently reading Bob Swart's Data Snake book. I've been a bit lazy about it, so working my way through it slowly. I'll do a review of it when I've finished. I noticed he's just released one on iOS and FireMonkey, which I personally probably won't bother with at this stage. I'll probably wait until XE3 comes out before I get into iOS. I'm still playing a little bit with FireMonkey, not as much as I should, but my main focus is of course getting these videos completed and for sale. Videos. I will hopefully be working on them very close to full time in a couple of weeks' time. Taking a bit of a risk. Hopefully there'll be enough people buying the videos. I do strongly believe that they're an excellent learning resource. I don't think videos make a very good reference, so I'd certainly recommend people buy books. And I should probably do a separate blog post totally on books, but I've got all the Marco Cantu's books. Is Delphi 2007. I've got a 2009, 2010, and XE book. Looking forward to his XE2 book. I suspect maybe he'll break it into 2 parts. Separate FireMonkey one. I don't know. I'm just speculating. But I'm looking forward to it. If he's is actually writing one. I presume he is. But yeah. So if you're looking for, actually his books are not actually very good to learn from. Certainly the Delphi 7 book, but his books mainly are on what's changed, what's new in Delphi. So that's not so excellent for if you're already a experienced Delphi programmer. They're very, very excellent. So I'm really into them, and I probably need to reread some of them because one tends to forget stuff, and also reread in more detail some of the really older Delphi books because there's a lot of stuff like writing DLLs and things like that. I've done a few times, not very regularly, but anyway. Something that I should mention. One of my previous videos, I was wearing a Ballin t-shirt, which I just happened to be wearing, and David I emailed me saying he'd send me a Embarcadero t-shirt, which he hasn't done yet. I'll have to follow up that email. And so anyway, so FireMonkey. So FireMonkey rocks. It's buggy. It's new, but you can do just really nice stuff with it. And I really have been procrastinating a bit about learning. I'm a big procrastinator, but who isn't? So I just need to learn to put off my procrastinating. Use my procrastination powers for good. So I've got some notes. There's some things I didn't cover in my first video. There's some quite large sections of the VCL components. One of them I did drag and drop, but the three others that are really complicated and I'm not as familiar with as I should be. One is drag and dock, which I'm learning properly now, and basically it's really hard to do nicely with just the VCL. There are some third-party components, and there's I think a JCL framework which is free that's available that I've been recommended to try, but I'm really keen on just doing stuff with pure VCL at this stage for my videos. I'll probably in the future make when I finish with Delphi, which is it's going to take me forever. Not as long as I originally thought. I thought after doing 20 components in my first video, I thought, how long is this going to take? I mean, 6 hours. But I'm probably do finish my current video, and then I think there'll be another one on VCL stuff. Which I'm not sure that I'm digressing. So the three things that I haven't covered so far: drag and dock, touch, and the gesturing framework, and live bindings, which is of course the new one, which is everyone's excited about. And I need to get into those, and they'll probably be. I think I'll do drag and dock in part 2, and part 3 gestures and touch, and hopefully I've covered enough components to demonstrate those in good detail. So that's kind of all I've got listed here. I had a thought the other day with when will Delphi, the Delphi IDE, use FireMonkey? Now, obviously, it's using some FireMonkey at the moment because the FireMonkey design surfaces are obviously using FireMonkey. Not I actually haven't investigated how that works, but presumably Delphi will be ported to FireMonkey at some stage, in which case you'll be able to write stuff on OS 10, which would be really quite cool. You'll be able to write. It seems a lot of people prefer OS 10 for developing on. When you look at people who do Rails, for instance, those guys are OS 10 obsessed with their TextMate and what have you. I've done a little bit of Rails on using NetBeans, the NetBeans IDE, because I like IDEs, automated refactorings and all that kind of stuff, syntax highlighting and code completion and all that. And after using NetBeans, and Eclipse, I've done some Android. I think the Delphi IDE is still a little bit primitive with its capabilities with refactoring and what have you. But my thought was, what would the Delphi look like on Android? Because presumably once it was all ported to FireMonkey, it could be recompiled and run perhaps with some user interface type challenges, but you could conceivably write Android apps on Android, and if the compiler is fully ported, then you could write your OS X and iOS and Windows applications on Android. That'd be quite cool. Sit on the train, and not that I commute very far to work. It's better. Well, soon we'll be going from the bedroom to the study, so that will be quite short. But sort of a 7-minute drive to where I currently work. Yeah. Anyway, so that's kind of all I had to say. I've been riveting on a bit. I hope this blog post makes some sense and is of use to people. Yeah, I'd just say, summarize. Buy my video. I'm going to need the money very shortly. Although not desperately. My partner's got a property management company, and that's reasonably successful. Although not clawing in money hand over fist at the moment. There's they had ADSL network near where she works went down the other day, and yeah, she had no internet for work, and even sort of a property management company, which is mostly kind of out and about doing stuff. Yeah, sort of ground to a halt. Their phones are IP phones as well. They're some old Cisco phones, and an asterisk box, which a friend of mine set up. He's a really smart and intelligent guy, but yeah, I really need to. So one of the things I'm trying to learn at the moment is asterisk, because it's very, very cool. But yeah, finding the time between all the other bits and pieces that I need to be doing. So what was I? Buy my video was, I think, was the last on topic thing. Yeah, so I'm hoping to be able to do it full time, and hoping to be able to make a video every 2 or 3 weeks, and cover significant parts of Delphi. So at the moment, doing the VCL, I need and so produce about 3 videos just on kind of pure VCL stuff, and then a couple of videos on data awareness and data, using data sets, client data sets, and talking to a database and Firebird and all that kind of stuff, and then Data Snap, which is now quite enormous in its capabilities, which probably require a couple of videos, particularly if I get into how do you write a basic Android application to talk to your Data Snap server and that kind of stuff. It's one of my only XE2 application is a Data Snap server, which talks to a bunch of Android pieces of software, so real estate software. So we've got a bunch of things in the pipeline that we're working on. So that's pretty cool. So I've been talking for almost 18 minutes, 19 minutes. So I better stop. I hope my rantings are useful, and don't take anything I've said as being, I hope to be able to do in Data Snap a series of videos, but I might not be able to if there's not enough interest in my current videos. Thanks for watching. I'm Alister Christie, and I'll probably do another blog post in another few weeks. I'm ranting on again. I did a video, a free one, on deleting things, adding things to a list box, T-list box in FireMonkey, and doing the nice little animations with the list box item expanding and fading in, and that looks really cool. It's really straightforward to do. I need to do one on deleting as well. I had to play with that, and that's quite straightforward. But you basically need to hook into the animations in a bit more detail to be able to shrink the list box item down to 0, height 0, and then delete the item. And you can delete the item on the completion of the animation. which is just really, really awesome with the way it works. So designing quite pretty interfaces. So anyway, I'm Alister Christie. Thank you for watching. If you've made it to the end, and I'll see you next time.